title to it.
Okay. Beautiful. We're live, I think.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Woohoo.
Hello. Oh, yes. We are on live here.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. It's such a privilege and such a joy to be here and to celebrate. And we are the lucky last, aren't we? To celebrate the fifth celebration right at the 31st of July.
Yeah.
And yeah, so beautiful, ladies. Perhaps we should just take a moment and introduce ourselves, just a name and where we are from.
Sure. You want to go first, Fin?
Sure. My name's Fin James. I'm from Denmark, Western Australia, and I live here with my husband and 2 young children at Carriora.
Beautiful. I'm going to come visit someday to your beautiful retreat center there.
Priestess Retreat, absolutely.
Yes.
So, hi everyone, I'm Kelly Fulker. I live in the Perth Hills of Western Australia, and I am a mother of 2 beautiful girls. I live here with my husband, and yeah, I'm a recent graduate of the 3rd level, graduating this July, so it's absolutely awesome to be here.
Yay. Hello everyone, I am Manjot Garcha and I live here in Melbourne with my family, my husband and my 2 kids. And I graduated in December 2018. And then I did the Spiritual Director program, which we have just completed in June, and looking forward to stepping up in the next way.
Yay.
Oh, awesome. It's been an interesting journey. I was thinking like 2.5 years with the Institute, but it feels like lifetimes. And you're like you never feel ready to leave the Institute. You're like, can I do something else and just stay here, please?
I totally agree. I've just, just graduated this July, so I'm about to start teacher training on Monday. One temple next, and also, joining the alumni has been fantastic, and I'm still really keen to dive in there more and get to know everyone. It's so lovely to be part of some Sisterhood. Amazing. It's just amazing. Yeah.
That is the most beautiful gift that we receive when we enter the Sisterhood, the gathering. And as our viewers would have seen all the live conversations with all our gorgeous sisters, and we have all our mentors and mentees, but it's beautiful when 2 sisters come together. It doesn't matter. It's just like a soul recognizes the soul, and the beauty and the joy that spreads is beyond words.
It is, absolutely. I just got tingles when you said that. And for me, the other thing that's been coming up is I'm so grateful to be able to be a mother and wife and have family, as well as being the priestess temple, because I have a sense that for so long, and perhaps many times, it was one or the other, and not able to have this integration like we can now, and also to be able to communicate with so many people across the world like we can now, rather than being in behind the temple walls, So yeah, it's quite a profound time to have these and archetypes coming back into our modern world. It's just amazing to be a part of it.
It reminds me of what they say in France, I think in Chateau de Rennes, they say it's the temple without the walls.
Perfect. Yeah, I love it. That's beautiful. Yeah, I can relate to what you say, Kelly. It's like this sort of trying to bring it into, I call it the mystic in the mainstream. It's like trying to be one or the other, but actually bringing them together and knowing that you can do it in your everyday life is yeah, like my life is the prayer. I love that so much. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah,
absolutely.
And what's most fascinating is that each one of us has our own stories of how we found the Institute, and it's like we just find it. So let's share our stories. How did you find the Institute? That would be interesting to know. Yeah.
Do you want to go, Fin? I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah. I heard of Ricky Jane when I was I'd recently had my son. I've got 2 children, and he was about 3 months old, and I'd bought my business probably 3 years before that. So I'd sort of gone from a business, I'd had a baby, I'd sort of had another baby, and I was like, look, you know, I've been on this spiritual path my whole life, but I'd sort of shelved it at about 30 and went into mining, but it was always calling me back. And I was like, it was sort of like a whisper, you know, and I was like, it's all good. I'll just keep tapping the, you know, shush, shush. And then it got really loud, and it was like, okay, now's the time to sort of step up again and step back into it. And then it was almost like screaming. I was like, okay. There's a few priestesses that live in Denmark a lot. I call it the Priestess Hotspot. So Ricky Jane was coming to Denmark to do an initiate workshop. So this was last, I think it'd be 3 years ago now, because I completed my training at the end of sort of last year, 2019. So this was 3 years ago, and I think I got the last space on that workshop, and I was like, okay,
lucky last. That's your motto.
I came to hear about it through Mitlay Sudhi, and so I was like, right, I'm going to do it. And so off I went for the weekend. I was literally like, here, hold the baby. I'll come back and feed him at lunch times. And everyone thought I'd gone mad. And I was like, no, I have to do this. So that weekend was amazing and like a reawakening for me. And it was so powerful being in circle with about, I reckon there was at least 20 plus women gathered there, and it was it was so profound for me, and I was like, this is exactly what I needed. And I loved the whole weekend was amazing, and all the women there, I felt like I was part of the family already. And I know a lot of the women didn't go on and do the third level, but a lot of them did as well. So sort of feeling like I belong somewhere, or someone actually understood me or could meet me at, I sort of was, how do you explain it? Like on the bridge, it was like meeting my ego and telling it to just stand aside, and actually meeting my soul at that level. And I did speak to Ricky Jane that weekend about maybe doing the third level straight after that, but it just didn't fit with me. I was too busy with my young kids. So I then did it in the 2019 intake, which was awesome. Yeah, so I'm so grateful for that, because we did get to go to Bali, and that's where I met Manjot, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a beautiful time, and that's the first time I'd ever left my family, but I felt they were old enough then, so yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, so that's how I came to meet Ricky Jane. How about you, Kelly?
Yeah, so I first heard about the Institute through word of mouth, and it was through one of your fellow sisters, I think, Finn, Emma Turton.
Yeah,
so Emma and I were on a writer's workshop together, and as you can imagine, we kind of magnetized, I think, found each other, and so I hadn't heard of the Institute or Ricky or any of it, and then had actually spent some time with Emma, and sort of learnt what she did as an intuitive guide, and heard about the Institute. Still didn't know much about it. And then literally the third level came up. I hadn't done anything to do with the Institute at all. And I thought, oh, that sounds amazing, but, you know, or can I do another course? You know, is this going to be just another course kind of thing? But very much then spent some time with Ricky, like watching some of the videos and things like that. The soul calling was so strong, so strong. I resisted and resisted and resisted, and it would not go away. Just would not go away. I've had this, like, similar, I think, in this feeling for a long time, you know, this inner soul calling of priestess, of doing this work, and have been doing some of it with the earth. A lot of my stuff is working with the subtle realms of the and multidimensional life on the planet. But anyway, yeah, it came to it that I think the closing date had even passed, and then I called and went, I'm running, I'm coming, and ran and leapt. Leapt into the third level and went, okay, I need to do this. I can't not do this. It won't leave me alone. And, you know, that Ricky was amazing. so yeah, dived in, and it's just been the most profound journey. You know, it's big. It's even the promise of, you know, to know your infinite, know yourself as infinite, unlimited consciousness. I'm like, how would one deliver on that? How would the Institute deliver on that? But they do. You know, it is a profound, I would even say, you know, rite of passage. It's an initiation, a massive series of initiations and transformations that occur. So yeah, very very powerful, and very grateful to have come through and be here now, about to launch into teacher training and go deeper again. So, but I think that, similar to what we've said, that sisterhood, that soul connection, the soul calling, the soul recognition, that embrace is just potent. So yeah, very grateful for it. Very grateful to have taken that leap. Literally run and dived. What about you, Manjot?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, that's so beautiful about this course, that we have women from everywhere on this journey, women who have never ever sought spirituality. They don't know anything, and coming completely from, say, technical side or scientific side or anything. And there are women who have been deep into the spiritual practices for time. Like, we have the women on every part of the journey, but everyone with the willingness to just open up and to show up and do the work. Like, it truly makes us that when we say that we are all one, you can truly feel that. And that's what is so beautiful about it. You don't need to have any background knowledge, but you just have to have that courage to show up and do the work. Yeah.
And I think, and trust your soul, trust that calling, because it can be painful, I think, to resist it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
How did I meet Ricky? Oh, well, it was an interesting story. So I did Reiki back in 1994, and then I went ahead and did my course in Ayurveda. And throughout my work in the clinical experience, Ayurveda and Reiki would, mishmash together, and I would be working on physical dimension, and then notice that I'm actually working with the subtle realm and realigning the chakras or aura. And then it got to the point where I started getting the past lives and all sorts of information being bombarded at me. What I felt was that there was a point which I couldn't move my clients. I could take them to a point in the journey, and I couldn't take them any further. And that is when I prayed. I prayed and said, I need some structure for this, how to do it. And I need something, some tool, something to be able to help these people move beyond the block that is holding them back. And I think I prayed it, and within a week or so, I found this Facebook group, I'm Spiritually Fierce. I still don't know how it showed up on my feed. And I was like, oh, nice quotes, and I liked it. And I think I joined the page on Wednesday, and on Thursday, RJ put for exchange of a cuppa and a cake, who would like to come for a photo shoot? And it was like on a day I was free, I think Friday or Saturday something. And I said, yes. And then I'm driving. It was like 15 minutes drive from my house, and I'm driving. Are you crazy? You just joined it on Wednesday. She probably meant it for her, her peeps, her tribe. Why are you going? Like, what's your point of going? And like, turn back. And then I'm like, no, keep going. I'm like, you haven't even met her. You don't even know what she does. Oh my God. And then I grabbed, like, how far can you resist? In 15 minutes, I was there, and the door opened, and there was beautiful Ricky there to welcome me. And I was like, okay. And then I knew Amy from before, and Amy was there. And I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm doing the course with the Institute. I'm like, okay. And then I met beautiful Joe McHenry, and I was like, I've known you forever. We still haven't figured out where we have met before. We both had that feeling like we have met somewhere before. And then I was like, I had no idea what the course was. I went home and I just, booked the interview. And I was like, oh, what's the harm? And like, let's just book the interview. And it was like, I met her in July. In October was the interview. And we were just having this conversation. And within the 10 minutes, I was like, I knew that I was going to do the course. And I was like full in. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm doing this. It, like you said, it was so strong, that feeling that I really need to do this. And for me, it has been a huge point, transformational point in my journey, because I love reading and I have experimented with a lot of things. I had lots of knowledge, but this course helped me to embody it. It allowed me to, and as we all know, that the fear is the greatest impediment and we are still fighting the fear, but it has allowed me to truly embody and deepen into all those practices and the things that I knew. So I'm so glad that I went for that cup of coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally, for me as well, the course it's given me a language. It's given me these events and occurrences in my life that were happening. It's actually helped me to understand the science behind it, and also given me a language to speak to it. So I can actually now much more easily describe, and I hope to do that in the future, these inner, like what you're saying, these inner knowings, these inner experiences, because the science is there now. It's not just all woo-woo, that it's this amazing time that we're in, where the science and the spirituality are in nexus, and the ability to speak to this and have the quantum physics behind it and go, and this is what's going on, and then go further, push the boundaries further in terms of accessing information or being of service in the subtle realms, whether it's with people or the earth or whatever it is that we're doing. So those transferable skills, I think, I just love that. I just love what's ahead, the potentials of being able to use non-local intuition and these skills to serve. Wowzers, this is going to be exciting.
It is.
I felt sort of similar with the same sort of thing. Was like I learned Reiki when I was 28, so nearly 20 years ago. I also learned a lot of other modalities that were all about the energy healing. But for me, it was like people would come to me and I worked at a healing center when I was 30 for 2 years, and they would want me to fix them or heal them. And I was like, yeah, but you actually have to participate in your own healing, because it was like hitting a brick wall, and I was like, this is not working. So trying to find that, I'd been searching for something like the third level for a long time, to sort of, like you say, put into words and practice, and give people ownership of their own shit, like the only way out is through. Ricky says, it's like you've got to go there. So in doing that process ourselves, it's like when we're on the retreat, and it was like, you show up and you put I've so got this, I haven't got this, like I've so got this, but yeah, I got this, like, oh my God, so it was it's so to obviously embody the feelings, to actually release them and then show other people how to do that. It's so powerful, so powerful. And it was like the missing link, like you say. Like, it's so easy to tell people how to do stuff, but they actually have to do it for themselves. So it's like that privilege to be able to hold that space and bear witness to them to do the work. Oh, it's just such a powerful process, and I love it so much. Yeah, so it's incredible. Yeah.
I was reflecting on it today, and there's just so much misuse of power in the world. Unhealthy use of power, and that's a big one for me, a massive one. And that's I agree with you, Finn, totally. Another thing I love about the way that the Institute is delivering this, it's the ethics, but also the understanding of those power dynamics and the importance of self-responsibility. I've been looking for that, because it's just not, there's so much unhealthy use of power in the spiritual sector, in the spiritual world. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for that ethical foundation, and yeah, it's ticking all the boxes. That the academics, the science, the ethics, all of it, bringing it all together with that deep, the ability to go deep in terms of serving in the spiritual realm, or subtle realms. Amazing, yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, what shall we talk about now?
I'd love to hear about your work. Hey, what you've been doing since you've graduated, and how you're taking this in your world. What are you doing with it? I see some exciting stuff going on.
Cooking up a few things.
Cooking up a few things. I know it.
You go first, Manjot. I'll go after you.
All right. Yeah. So I've my Ayurvedic clinic here in Melbourne, and it has beautifully integrated with the healing. And when it has given me the tools to empower the woman on a deeper way, and also help them shift. It has been a big thing for me to help them shift their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual pain. But this has given me the tools and given me the tools to educate these women, to empower them to get rid of their pain. So on a personal level, also, it has been hugely transformational, like the changes that have been in me and my relationship, my family, and everything. It's immense. It is very hard to put in words what happens, because it's like you show up every day, you do the work, and it's like subtle growth that happens, right? And we don't stop to acknowledge it. And for me, there were like 2 instances which shocked me into realization how far I have come, because there was a client who asked me about how did you shift that? And I said, my intuition guided me and I did whatever I did. And then after 1 year, she came for a session and she said, what happened there? And I explained to her, and she is looking at me and she's like, you have changed a lot. Like, look at you, you're explaining it now in just the right way. And when we did our own 3rd level retreat, oh my God, I was like this shy little flower and being quiet and, just participating as much required. And then we were, as peer mentors, we were at Finn's retreat, Finn's group. Oh my God, it was so amazing. And just with those little things, checking with myself where I was last year and where I am this year, it was huge. So it's given me the tools to take Ayurveda on a quantum level. I also call it like quantum Ayurveda, the 5 elements and how they are impacting us inside the body, outside the body, and deep within in the spiritual world. And I'm creating a course where I'm bringing all my experience and knowledge of Ayurveda and energy healing together in one course. So where I can show the women, empower them, how the body-mind complex is creating the pain, how to identify it in its initial conditions, tools, how to transform it, so that you can, like we always talk about radical acceptance, radical forgiveness, and radical gratitude, that no matter what is happening outside you, you can find that peaceful place within your heart, and you can always be connected with your heart center. And with the work I'm doing with women and the messages, like how it's amazing, like how just 10 minutes of conversation, 10 minutes of spending that time can bring them into that realignment so quickly. So that's what's happening for me as I've finished the spiritual directorship. So this 12 weeks program that I'm creating, and I'm creating a 6 months journey, a unique journey from pain to peace. And I'm focusing that for the women who have arthritis or autoimmune disorders, because that's the sort of the area that I love working in, helping them get rid not only of the physical pain, but the spiritual pain, and how they both correlate together. So, and and I'm working on a book where I bring Ayurveda and spirituality, like what we learned in Ayurveda was like about the man and atma and everything, but now with the knowledge I have, bringing it together and explaining how it's actually the same. For example, we talk about the error of perception of the mind, right? From A Course in Miracles as well. And in Ayurveda, one of the main reasons, there are 3 reasons for diseases, and one of the reasons is pragya aprad. So pragya means the wisdom, the knowledge, intelligence, and aprad means a sin. So it's like the same thing, but in a different language. It is saying the error of perception causes diseases. And the whole timeline of the diseases is like, when they talk about the epidemics, and they talk about like Janubdwans, like the entire beings of the entire land are destroyed by an epidemic. And in that also, they beautifully talk about this, the concept of the pragya prad and how it happens. So yeah, I'm getting derailed here. But this is my joy, bringing that aspect of the spirituality and the physicality of the body together and using them both. And I am sort of experimenting with, when we work on we know that when we make the changes in the spiritual body, the physical should show the signs. But I'm working the other way, that if I work with the body and applying the herbs or therapies, would that help them to shift spiritually as well, and creating that circle of bringing it back into the harmony. Beautiful. So yeah,
Wow,
exciting. Yeah, it sounds amazing. Yeah,
thank you.
I can't wait to see it come to fruition. It'll be amazing. Yeah, I can relate to that so much, because I was sort of I had to, because I've been I graduated sort of at the end of the last year, or this year, so I've only been out about 6 months. And I know that like Ricky Jane said, like you take this and do what you will with it. It's like hand it over and do what you will with it. So I've sat with it for a very long time, and I know that it's never going to be how I wanted it to look, so I had to sit with it a bit longer. So I use the sort of term freedom alchemist, because I'm not a healer. I obviously want people to experience the freedom that I experience by going through the stuff and taking off the layers and doing all that sort of work, and actually sort of being on the other side going, oh my God, this is what it's like to be free, like to hand you your freedom. And it's never like it's always an ongoing journey. We all know that, but it's like that's what lights me up as well. It's like I also trained in sort of fitness instructing and stuff like that, but I learned that it's like, it's the pain that sits in the body, you can't move it out by exercising it. You have to actually sort of get this where it's coming in the emotional bodies, like you say, and where it's coming in, and where to transmute it. So I was like, I kept getting I'm in the process of creating a course as well called in body alchemy. So it's like being in the body and feeling the emotions and where the disease is sitting, and actually shifting it emotionally first, and then actually, like, I would probably do a treatment, as in an energy treatment as well afterwards, that would help shift, just hold the space really, because I won't do it for people anymore. So so that was how am I going to bring that together, all these things that I've learned, because I also have trained in massage and stuff, but I was like, I don't want to have to touch people to say you can shift your shit without it. Like, you can actually do that. It's actually possible. And people are like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, it can be done. So changing the mindset of actually people being more present and actually getting into that feeling state more, sort of permission to feel deeply and actually really go there, and then actually watch them sort of transform. But I'm going to do a package to actually come and do it as a retreat style weekend package, but I would also do like an online sort of package to start with, to get that sort of connection and trust. And then when people actually come here, it's like giving them the space to actually find where they're going to sort of fill up, you know, with that new energy, and sort of let themselves really have the space to just sort of be in their own how would you say, sit in their own shit for a little while and then transmute that, send that out here. It's really good. Love, obviously, but this is the most amazing place to do that. It's got such a beautiful vibe where we live, and we look out to the mountain, and it's just the most beautiful place to heal. And I really want to bring it together, like the connection to earth, you know, the body, the spirit, and actually sort of bring it all together. And I've got the most perfect place to do it here. And I was like, I always wanted to do retreats ever since I went on a women's retreat when I was 30, and it's taken me like 16 years to get round to it. And I was like, oh yeah, I actually have an accommodation business and people can actually come here and do that, you know, like, so I was like, I had to actually sort of go and stand out there and have a light bulb moment. But like learning to, as you say, Manjot, like, and Kelly, like learning to trust the intuition and the hits as they come in, and go, yes, I have to do this, and act on it with radical acceptance, and go, it might not be exactly how I saw that, but I'll just have to sort of go that way, like completely random, and follow what's going on, because it never looks how we think it's going to look sometimes. So being able to sit in that place is of total surrender is beautiful. I love it so much. Yeah, it's a continual sort of journey of it really lights me up. So even though life sort of gets in the way sometimes and it gets a bit busy, and I used to joke about going away to join the spiritual circus, but ultimately my life is the circus. So I'm just sort of juggling the balls, and it's all going to sort of become a part of the act, basically. So metaphorically speaking, so it's exciting. So that'll be coming soon, but obviously mostly to West Australians to start with, and then we'll see how Denmark's the new Bali. Yeah. And so how about you, Cal?
Yeah, I just love what you were saying there, Finn, about having all the pieces come together. That's very much what it feels like for me at the moment. Is there's been a pitch, not even a picture, it feels like I've been able to see this bit and this bit and then this bit, and now it feels like all these pieces are starting to move together into a coherent big picture, and it feels amazing. And exactly what you're saying, trusting the divine timing of it, and trusting each step, because each step has been revealed, and the work and whatever's needed in that space has been revealed, and then that might go dormant for a little while, and the next bit's revealed, and then the next bit, and then they all start to come together, which is what's happening for me at the moment. And it's like, oh my goodness, because I couldn't, in my ego mind, I couldn't see it all in as one big picture. I just I couldn't hold it all, so I could only see parts of it, and now it's seeing it all. But it's not me. This is come from a place well beyond me. I'm just sort of been, fortunately, done some of the things that I've been told to do. Some I'm sure I haven't, which, you know, bit of a spiritual slap there. But this feeling of it coming together. And so I have a little retreat center here as well, and it's like, okay, you know,
wow, I should move to Perth.
Yeah.
This idea, and I've known for a long time, for me, a lot of it's about ancient lineages and bringing back into the world, the modern world now, those rites of passage that were so prevalent and so important to moving from stage to stage to stage in our lives, particularly through, for me, my passion is with the young girls. I've got two young daughters, one's 13, one's 11. And so they're right at that point right now, which again, divine timing, as it's all coming together to start to, and then having completed the third level, understanding how to actually, and now going into teacher training, understanding how to actually teach intuition, which I wouldn't have known how to do. How do you teach intuition? But now having those skills, the feeling of being able to serve, and to serve the future generations by helping them to not only connect to their divine selves and intuition as a tool for them to use going forward, but also take some time to set their ethical framework. Who do you want to be? How do you want to be in the world? Because there's going to be a lot of stuff flying at you as you go from these years, whether it's 11, 12, through to 20, 21 or 18, 17, whatever it is, but there's going to be a lot of pressure. and a lot of, and I see a lot of teenagers in, anxiety and stress, and in a world that's very different to all the past generations with the amount of technology and information that we have available now, and the ease of access to it. Some good, some not so good, and the pressures that places on young people. So yeah, I'm feeling really inspired with this ability to bring all of my training together and just offer something really beautiful in terms of serving those younger generations and the old and the women, because there's only one of us here, yeah. So I know as I serve those young ones, I'm actually serving my inner child as well, my inner teenager that never got those rites of passage or never had that sense of honouring and acknowledgement through my life. So very grateful for how these skills are so not transferable, they're transferable, but to be able to have that freedom to take it into the world and contribute to this reawakening that's happening of this divine feminine energy and masculine, but the union of the two, but in terms of bringing back some of that balance into the world. Yeah. Powerful, potent times. Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to come to Denmark. That's amazing.
Put you on the list. I'll book you in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that was so lovely. Just getting to know one another on the deeper level. And it's so beautiful that we are all like healers working on that aspect of bringing the spiritual healing with the physical healing and finding out the ways of helping others.
Yeah. And also that, I love what you're saying as well, Finn, about bringing earth energy in. She is such a powerful healer, the goddess of creation and aligning. That's one of the things I found amazing in leading up to the third level was being able to heal by entraining with earth energy. It's such an easy way to release. It's another way of releasing blockages, because our body's naturally entrained, whether it's with another priestess or whether it's with healthy nature. So I love exploring that as well, and just working with earth energy and inviting her as that goddess to teach. I want to learn from her. She's a potent eco-ascension. Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's very powerful. Yeah, I'm only learning more now about the earth energy and being able to connect to it each day, and actually taking the time to, I sort of take for granted where I live. So actually going out to connect to the earth and actually, like you say, connect to that sort of beautiful divine goddess energy, which I spent a lot of time in my masculine energy when I was growing up. So I was looking for that balance. So this course gave me that in buckets and spades, but to actually balance them. And it was like the divine goddess energy is just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and the multidimensional life that's present there, the trees energy, the rock energy, the wisdom of the rocks, the essence of the flowers that can sing, they literally can transmit. It's so much to explore. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I have really enjoyed this conversation. I love how we mirror and the bits
we
come.
should do this more often. I love it.
Yes. And it's beautiful every time to see the new sisters, baby priestesses coming in and graduating and having the bigger and bigger sisterhood circle. And now we have got the global one with sisters in America and all over the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it was amazing to do the training like you say, like we had sisters from America and New Zealand, like Australia obviously, and all over, and that we can all gather and actually sort of connect on that level is amazing. And then it sort of goes back global, that we can sort of have that beautiful ripple effect to everywhere. It's amazing. I love it. It's so exciting. Yeah, so very grateful to Ricky Jane for that.
Yeah. Absolutely, and to have that impact go, not exactly like saying global, you know, this is, and I love when Ricky talks, it's truly on behalf of the whole, isn't it? It's truly on behalf of raising the whole vibration, and being able to do that work is such an honour. Part of that, be a part of with you amazing women. Oh, yay! Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's to the Institute and to the 5,000 priestesses Ricky is calling in. Our 5,000 sisters.
Yes,
So
it's
big
exciting.
cheers for the Institute and its 5th birthday, and of course many more to come.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's so exciting to be a part of it. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was so much fun to gather together. And yeah, it's a privilege.
I was trying to check the comments before and I was like, oh my God, the noise. So I don't know if there was any questions, but I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation.
Nafisa is here and she's saying, so wonderful to listen to all of you amazing sisters. Much love to you, Nafisa. And to all the sisters who will listen back or who won't listen back, but you're all in our hearts.
Yeah. Such a privilege. Yeah.
It
Let's go pop the champagne.
Yes, let's do that.
A massive thank you. And
the divine water. It's called Som, the drink of the gods.
I love
All
it.
right. I think we should end here now.
Happy birthday, Ricky. Thank you for bringing this through, Ricky, and all those involved in the Institute to make this available around the world. Thank you so much. It's really potent work and honour to be a part of it. And thank you, ladies, for the conversation tonight. We really appreciated it. Good spending time together.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I feel the same. It's been a privilege to be welcomed to this beautiful sisterhood, and it's such an amazing creation, the Institute, and to Ricky Jane and everyone that supported me on my journey. It's just, and it sort of goes on and on, even in the alumni after and everything. It's just that ongoing support and sisterhood is just amazing. I'm so very grateful for this. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. It is a joy to know that we can reach out anytime to the sisters and, you know, have that support. And
yeah, it's a big family. I love it.
All right, then let's go and cut a big cake for everyone.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night and
too.
much love to you all. Thank you for joining us and watching this live. Thank you. Bye.